You found yourself on another edition of Let 'Em Know Kings United, and on today's episode, I'm going to keep this short, sweet, and to the point. The Cleveland Cavaliers played their most complete game of the season by exposing the Chicago Bulls. We're going to break it down right here on Let 'Em Know Kings United.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, it is that time for the post-game reaction podcast of the Cleveland Cavaliers, Sacramento Kings, and the Chicago Bulls. This is Let 'Em Know Kings United. Let 'em know, Nation. I hope you understand what I'm about to do right now. But first and foremost, you already know what time it is. Welcome to another edition of Let 'Em Know Kings United, your Cleveland Cavaliers, Sacramento Kings, and Chicago Bulls post-game reaction podcast. And I am your host, Skylar Weisberg. Thank you so much for tuning into today's program. And you can find Let 'Em Know Kings United, which is 100% completely free and available on Amazon Music, Google Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Spotify, Radio Public, Pandora, or wherever else you want to listen to the show. Give the show a follow on those platforms if you can. Please turn on your notifications so you know about the next episode. Please rate, spread the word out to your friends, and give Let 'Em Know Kings United a 5-star review on whatever podcast platform you want to listen to this on. It is a great way to support the podcast. And I appreciate each and every one of you for tuning in, and I apologize in advance for the venting that I am about to do because two of our three teams went at it. The Cleveland Cavaliers versus the Chicago Bulls on Martin Luther King night at Rocket Mortgage Fieldhouse. And I am going to simplify this in the most possible way without venting. For one team, they played the most complete performance of the season. For the other, they looked lifeless, heartless, pathetic, and unwatchable. The Cavaliers played their most complete game of the season, while the Chicago Bulls were simply unwatchable from the jump. 109-91 was the final. The Cleveland Cavaliers got the win, and they just own the Chicago Bulls. They just own the Bulls. Donovan Mitchell. I heard Chicago Bulls Central with my man Hayes. Shout out to him. He said, if Donovan Mitchell gets downhill, the Bulls are in for a long night. And boy, oh boy, did Spider get downhill all over Chicago all night long as he dropped 34 points on the Chicago Bulls. And Jared Allen, what else is freaking new with him? Another double-double for the Fro. 10 points and 14 rebounds as the Cleveland Cavaliers pulled away late. But don't let that score fool you. Don't let 109-91 fool you. This was a game that the Cleveland Cavaliers completely dominated. They completely dominated from the jump. First of all, they made 20 three-pointers in a franchise record 57 attempts. An NBA season high in regulation, as it took the court for the first time since beating Brooklyn 111-102 in Paris. Mitchell, LeVert, and Georges Niang each went 4 of 10 from beyond the arc. They both went 40% from the field from behind the arc. Caris LeVert off the bench continued to be a huge spark for Cleveland as he added 16.7 rebounds and 7 assists. as the Cavaliers extended their longest winning streak of the season to 5 despite blowing a 21-point lead in the second half, which honestly, and I'm going to keep it a buck, the Bulls had no business leading 81-80. At one point, they were within 5 or within 3 near the end of the third quarter. But as I was watching this game, I was like, damn, the Chicago Bulls, they didn't even deserve to win this game, let alone have a damn lead. So the Cleveland Cavaliers gave them that. They gave them a little glimmer of hope as if they were saying, okay, Chicago, we feel bad for you. We're going to let you go on your little run and then proceed to put a dagger in the hearts of every single Chicago Bulls player. And that is exactly what they did. Spida said they're a good team, a competitive team, which the Bulls are. They have improved dramatically over the last couple of weeks, so big time respect coming from Donovan Mitchell. So they knew they were going to make a run. Donovan Mitchell, by the way, also had 7 assists, and we missed wide open shots. But the biggest thing is how we responded, and we did it as a group. The Chicago Bulls outscored the Cleveland Cavaliers 31-20 in the third quarter. Again, this was a quarter where the Chicago Bulls played their best brand of basketball. And at one point, they cut a 21-point lead down to 3. But let's be honest again. The Chicago Bulls played so bad, so pitiful, so embarrassing tonight that they absolutely had no business leading or let alone cut a lead to either 5 or 3. If the Bulls played consistently, if the Bulls actually locked the hell in defensively, know the situation on the court, right? There were a lot of mistakes for the Chicago Bulls. First off, the shot clock violation by Kobe White. Like, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? G League players know the situation better than you. The second mistake, and this really hurts. Alex Caruso and Kobe White got a steal off a 2-on-1 break. Stacey King said, and I quote, that should be a layup. What does Kobe White do? Take a 3. Do you have any idea what basketball IQ means? Do you have any idea what the situation was? It was a 2-on-1 fast break. Alex Caruso just gave you a free lane to the lane. A free lane to a layup. And what the hell do? You take a 3. Why? To patent your stats? Maybe prove to Chicago that you're selfish? Maybe to prove that you're better than them? Because that was pathetic. Cleveland, I gotta give you guys credit. They dominated all night. Karis LeVert said, right now we're getting the timely stops that we need, and the really good teams do that. We have versatile defenders, and we have bigs that can switch. We're just locking in more defensively, and we're getting better at our scheme. The Chicago Bulls are the 4th best defensive team in the league. And again, they are doing this without 2 of their best guys. Darius Garland, who's out with a jaw, and Evan Mobley, who had knee surgery. I did not expect the Cleveland Cavaliers to do this well without 2 of their best guys. But I am happy as a Cleveland Cavalier fan and a Chicago Bulls fan because I cover both teams. I am happy as a Cleveland Cavaliers fan that they are actually getting better. And I thought that the Cleveland Cavaliers were going to get worse. I need to be honest with you on that. But when you have Donovan Mitchell, who's doing what he's doing, when you have Sam Merrill, who's once again on fire from three-point range, he should be on the Cavaliers' main roster. Forget the two-way thing for Sam Merrill. As far as I'm concerned, Sam Merrill belongs on the main roster. When you have Georges Niang, who's making threes, when you have Karis LeVert coming off the bench making threes, Max Strus, he only had 2 points. He only had 2 points. He had a quiet night. So I'm a little bit mad on him. I'm a little bit mad at him, considering the fact that it was against his former team in the Chicago Bulls, but he got his piece at the United Center a couple of weeks ago. Donovan Mitchell said, you know what, let me get mines because I missed out at the United Center trip against the Bulls. So I guess Donovan Mitchell was like, don't worry about it, Max Strus. I'm going to return the favor. So I want to give credit to the Cleveland Cavaliers. They were absolutely efficient at both ends of the floor. They're scoring brilliant. They're rebounding absolutely immaculate. They had more second chance points than the Chicago Bulls tonight. And their bench completely outworked, outplayed, and outscored the entirety of the Chicago Bulls. And speak of credit, JB Bickerstaff, I still think there are times where I don't like you. I don't like you as a coach at times. But I will give you credit. I will give you credit. You have been the mastermind of the complete turnaround of the Cleveland Cavaliers. You are getting your team better on the offensive end. The defensive end, absolutely immaculate, especially considering you're a defensive-minded coach. I want to give credit to the Cleveland Cavaliers film room staff where they scouted the Chicago Bulls brilliantly and they absolutely exposed them. In what areas did they expose the Chicago Bulls, you may ask? Well, they knew that they couldn't box out, so second chance opportunities were going to be absolutely freebies for them. They knew that the Chicago Bulls do not know how to defend dive cuts. They don't know or I should say the Cleveland Cavaliers knew that the Chicago Bulls didn't know how to hedge a screen properly. And they didn't know that the Chicago Bulls are not locked in defensively and they can't box out, they can't crash boards. That gives an ultimate freebie for second chance opportunities. And another thing that they exposed is the Chicago Bulls cannot defend shooters. They couldn't defend Donovan Mitchell all night. He was hooking all over the Chicago Bulls. Once again, Donovan Mitchell is the father of the city of Chicago. He owns the city of Chicago. Let's just be completely honest. Jared Allen, though, he has been an absolute monster. He is averaging 18 points, 15 rebounds, and 5 assists during his career-long streak of double-doubles. And by the way, the Cavaliers are 10-3 since losing Evan Mobley and Darius Garland until February. If the Cleveland Cavaliers get a winning record by the All-Star break and those two guys come back, you might be looking at a 3 seed for the Cleveland Cavaliers at best. They're at 4 right now, but the way they're playing, I can see the Cleveland Cavaliers as a top 3 seed in the Eastern Conference. And I never thought I would say this. JB Bickerstaff is in the conversation for Coach of the Year right now. I need to be completely honest. Donovan Mitchell said, J.A. gets me open, that's for sure, and he's willing to do the little things. We all appreciate it. He's playing out of his mind, and he should be an all-star. We need to get him there. So for every single Cleveland Cavalier fan listening to this, you need to vote for not only Donovan Mitchell, but you damn sure need to vote for Jared Allen because he has been an absolute monster as of late. And as far as I'm concerned, he's an all-star on my book. Try to prove me wrong. As far as the Chicago Bulls, that was the most embarrassing, pathetic, heartless, inexcusable, and putrid performance I've ever seen in all of my freaking life. We didn't know how to value possessions. There was no awareness on the court, not once but twice. You allow the Cleveland Cavaliers to make 20 threes. 20 of them. That is just putrid. And let's not forget the fact that you don't know how to take care of the basketball. You were turning the ball over. You were rushing shots. You were turning the ball over. Your closeouts were absolutely pathetic. You allowed too many second chance opportunities. Too freaking many. As far as the Cleveland Cavaliers, that was the most complete game that I've ever seen all year. For the Chicago Bulls, you had absolutely no heart. Absolutely no effort. You did not come prepared for this game. You clearly did not practice. Billy Donovan, you got outcoached by J.B. Bickerstaff, who right now should be the Eastern Conference Coach of the Month. I need to say it. Somebody needs to say it. J.B. Bickerstaff will be the Eastern Conference Coach of the Month by the end of January. Mark my words. But for Billy Donovan and the Bulls, you have absolutely no right to get to Toronto by a plane. You need to take the bus to Toronto. Hell, screw the day off. I know Billy Donovan's going to give you the day off because it's required, right? If I'm the NBA coach after this performance, excuse my language, F the day off. You are going to practice every single freaking day until the Toronto game, which is on national TV. By the way, the Toronto Raptors have looked better since the trade sending OG Anunoby to New York because RJ Barrett and Emmanuel Quickley can ball in Toronto. And Scotty Barnes is pretty damn good. And oh, by the way, the last time we faced Toronto, we got smoked. We got clapped. This was embarrassing. Thank you, Chicago, for wasting my time. Thank you, Chicago, for showing me that you have no heart. Thank you, Bulls, for showing me that you have no fight. Thank you, Bulls, for showing me that you cannot lock in defensively. You didn't read the scouting report. You got outplayed, you got outcoached, and you simply got outworked. One team wanted to play while the other just didn't show up. Honestly, the Windy City Bulls would pull a better effort than the effort that I've seen for the Chicago Bulls tonight. And I don't give a damn about Kobe White dropping 18 points. Zach LaVine, I don't give a damn about Kobe White dropping 18 points. Zach LaVine and Nikola Vucevic, which, by the way, Nikola Vucevic had a double-double with 17 and 10 boards, and Zach LaVine dropped 17 points for the Bulls. I really do not give a damn. And Andre Drummond each grabbing 10 rebounds as Billy Donovan played them together for much of the second half. I really do not give a damn. And by the way, Billy Donovan, you're terrible, bruh. You are terrible. Your rotations are terrible. Your scouting, terrible. Your assistant coaches, terrible. Why do you have a guy like Mo Cheeks in your coaching staff that doesn't know crap about the game of basketball lately? He said what was disappointing was a lot of the mistakes when we went up, one were self-induced. It was rough shots, turnovers, offensive rebounds, all stuff we did to ourselves. Well, at least you got one thing right. The Chicago Bulls definitely hurt themselves tonight. And I blame everybody for this. Nobody gets exemption to the rule. Nobody gets the pass of, well, so-and-so played well, I can give him a pass. Nobody deserves that. This Bulls team was absolutely pathetic, absolutely lifeless, absolutely lethargic, absolutely just disabled. The Bulls were absolutely disabled while the Cleveland Cavaliers were just having a field day out there. J.B. Bickerstaff and the Cleveland Cavaliers deserved this win, and they earned this victory tonight. The Cleveland Cavaliers shot 41% from the field, 35% from three, compared to the Bulls, 42% from the field, 28% from three. They only made 9 of them, and they shot it 32 times. But they were settling for threes. I mean, what else is new? The Cavaliers were a perfect 11-11 from the free throw line. They out-rebounded the Bulls 48-43, including 13 of them on the offensive glass. Yeah, I said it. Let me say that again for those that didn't catch it earlier. 13 of them on the offensive glass. The steals were 9-8 in favor of the Cavaliers. The blocks, the Bulls won that stat 6-3, but who gives a damn? The Chicago Bulls turned the ball over 19 times. You're not going to win games like this. You're not going to win games like that when you turn the ball over 20 times, which is really embarrassing because coming into this game, the Cleveland Cavaliers were one of the best teams in the league when it comes to limiting turnovers. That was definitely not the case tonight. The second chance points was a big stat in this game. 26 second chance points compared to 16. A 10-point advantage for Cleveland. Why? Because all the Chicago Bulls game today was too many one-and-done possessions. They take a shot, and they immediately went in drop coverage instead of fighting for loose balls, grabbing the 50-50 balls, getting offensive rebounds, and actually playing the game. While Cleveland played an exceptional brand of basketball, all the Chicago Bulls played is one shot only, and then we go to drop coverage. One shot, drop coverage. It was one shot drop coverage for Chicago and a complete brand of basketball in every single aspect of the game for the Cleveland Cavaliers. And again, if this isn't a game where J.B. Bickerstaff has proven that he deserves to be the coach of the month and he's in the coach of the year conversation for the complete turnaround that the Cleveland Cavaliers are in right now, I mean, at least this game deserves an argument of the case. Nobody did well for the Chicago Bulls. I really don't give a damn about Kobe White dropping 18 points with 4 rebounds, 3 assists. Zach LaVine with 17 points. Nikola Vucevic, a double-double with 17 points and 10 rebounds. DeMar DeRozan, only 6 points in 38 minutes with 6 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 steals, and a block. Who gives a damn? Not a single Chicago Bull is going to get a positive shout out for me. That was the worst performance I've ever watched in the last 90 minutes. You Chicago Bulls wasted 90 minutes of my time, my effort, and my energy, and I immediately regret watching this game just like I'm going to regret recording this episode of this podcast. But as for the Cleveland Cavaliers, my true number one team, you boys completely earned it, and I am really proud of you. Donovan Mitchell, you already know what he's capable of. He deserves to be an all-star starter. 34 points, 7 assists, 2 steals with 3 rebounds, a plus 19, out freaking standing. Max Strus, he only had 2 points in 35 minutes, but he had 5 rebounds, 4 assists, a block, and he was a plus 19. Jared Allen, if this man is not on the all-star roster, I am going to flip my freaking lid. 10 points, 14 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 steals, 1 block, a plus 32, which, by the way, I think is a game high or a game best. Jared Allen simply feasted all over the Chicago Bulls, and definitely well-deserved because Jared Allen put more work than the entire Bulls roster combined. Even though Andre Drummond got 8 points and 10 rebounds, simply put, Jared Allen is completely better than the entire Chicago Bulls roster. Dean Wade, 12 points. He was 4 of 10 from three-point range. Sam Merrill, 15 points off the bench, 4 of 6 from 3, with 3 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 steals. Again, Sam Merrill, this man belongs on the main roster. I know he's on a 2-way deal right now with Amani Bates and Craig Porter Jr., who did not play in this game. I mean, if the Cleveland Cavaliers did not blow a 21-point lead in this game, well, then maybe we'll see Amani Bates and Craig Porter Jr., but they'll probably feasted just like everybody did for the Cleveland Cavaliers tonight over the Chicago Bulls. So it goes down like this. for the Cleveland Cavaliers. That was the most complete performance I've seen this season, and considering that you got back from Paris a few days ago when I thought that you were going to be jet lagged and you put up that effort, I am proud of that, and the Cleveland Cavaliers played really, really well. For the Chicago Bulls, you were absolutely lethargic. You were absolutely embarrassing. You wasted my time. You wasted my effort. You wasted my energy, and you showed absolutely no heart, no fight, just no competitiveness. You were not locked in from minute one. One of the keys of this game was you gotta learn how to lock in, because if you'd allowed Donovan Mitchell to have a big game, it's over with. You did not lock in from minute one. The minute you stepped on the court for warm-ups, I knew this game was already over. You had no energy during the warm-up. You had no energy during the game. You dug yourself into a deep hole, 40-21 in the first quarter. I knew from that moment the Cleveland Cavaliers had this game from minute one. Credit to JB Bickerstaff. He should be the coach of the month. He's in the coach of the year conversation. Billy Donovan, you might as well be fired or traded with Zach LaVine, because that performance was absolutely disgraceful. If you come to Toronto with this effort, there's going to be some changes. Trust me when I tell you, there's going to be some changes if I see another bull crap effort from the Bulls against Toronto on Thursday on national television on TNT, by the way. That's going to do it for today's edition of Let 'Em Know Kings United. You can find this show on Amazon Music, Google Podcast, iHeartRadio, Spotify, Radio Public, Pandora, or wherever you want to listen to this show. Give the show a follow on those platforms. If you can, please turn on your notifications so you know about the next show. Please rate, spread the word out to your friends, and give Let 'Em Know Kings United a 5-star review on whatever podcast platform you want to listen to this on. I'm your host, Skylar Weisberg. Thanks for tuning in, everybody, and I will see you right back here for another edition of Let 'Em Know Kings United.